Welcome to the Utah Football Fans Podcast. Please like, subscribe, and share. And as always, go Utes. Hello, Utah fans. Welcome to another episode of the Utah Football Fans Podcast. Yes, it is a Tuesday night, and yes, we are in our home studios tonight. Sadly, we could not come together to be in the studio, but we had to get on here. We had to have a show. It was the last week of the regular season. The season's basically over, you guys. It's so sad. We're going to talk all about it. But before we do, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you're following along. Give us a thumbs up. If you're here in the chat, we want to see you. Say hi. Make sure you're following all the social media, all on Twitter, and join the Facebook group and Instagram and all the good things. And again, definitely make sure you're subscribed. And hey, give us a great review. We'd love to have a good review. You know, sometimes we get just the negative stuff. We want some positivity. We're all about the positivity. Remember, we talk about it all the time. Give us a positive review. All right. How's everyone feeling? We played the last game of the regular season, and we were just talking about it before we went live. It felt like it was like a month ago that we played Kansas.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's kind of surreal. It's sad. I'm bummed. You look forward to it. I mean, yeah, okay, we got a bowl game left, but the fact that the regular season's come and gone, it's kind of crazy. I don't know. I have a hard time processing it. It bums me out. I feel like I mean, I'm sure that's how every college football fan feels is you get to this point and it's exciting to follow along. And then, yeah, there's still things for some teams to play for, but you know, and you know, Gary's talked about this many times that bowl games don't mean nearly what they used to. When we got one more game, we'll find out who and where and all those things. We'll talk about all that, but you know, we won't even have a full roster. So I'm bummed. It was a good way to go out. Overall, a pretty dang good season, I'll say. But the fact that it's come to an end, dang, sucks. I'm sad about it.
Yeah, you wait months, obviously, and you get all excited, and week to week, the anxiety, the fun, the pressure, all that stuff. And the season's over, basically, you know, the regular season's over anyway. So, yeah, it feels weird to be at this spot. But, hey, as far as Kansas goes, we won.
That's all that matters, dude.
31-21. I still think we averaged in the last 5 games like 48 points or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it was a weird game. Let's be honest. I don't know. It felt like we were sluggish all along, both sides of the ball, really. I know the D wasn't that fantastic, let's be honest, except, so they seemed porous, but for me, it was also the D that gave us the win because they picked the ball 3 times. One in the end zone, Benny. The other was in the end zone and turned into a pick 6. And then who was the other? Who got the other pick? Snowden?
Snowden early on the game, their first drive.
Early on the game, but that they were within the red zone, I believe.
Yeah.
3 picks within the red zone, and one was a touchdown. So yeah. So on the one hand, the D wasn't stellar, but they got 3 picks, one a touchdown, and one of those was a touchdown, which was huge. And then the offense, you know, they pulled it out when they needed to. Still got 31 out of it. So it is what it is, man. We won. We're 10-2.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like the most exciting game. I mean, even looking at it though, it just took us a long time to get going. Like I went back and looked at it. So we scored a field goal in the first quarter, a touchdown in the second quarter, nothing in the third quarter, and then finally in the fourth quarter, we scored 21. So finally that fourth quarter was like, okay, we put it away and it felt good. We could kind of relax a little bit, but yeah, that and the Kansas State game being our last 2 games, it does make the end of the season feel a little, I don't know, like, I don't know the word. I'm not disappointed by any means because 10-2, I mean, 10 wins. We haven't had that since, what did we say last week? 2019?
2019, yeah.
So, but it doesn't give me that same feeling as like the Colorado game when we absolutely just destroyed them. Our last 2 games were kind of strange feeling. However, We won 10 games.
Okay, let me throw this out to you. Reflect back to what you were feeling at the end of the last season. If possible.
I don't want to.
Happen.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I don't want to think about it.
Okay, it was horrific. And if at that time, if you could say Nostradamus looking out into the future, and you can say we're going to go 10-2 next year, you'd go, well, really? We at that point we didn't know who was coming back. I mean, we didn't have Beck, Dampier, host of guys. I mean, the whole freaking offense, basically, except our O-line, obviously. But all I'm saying is you go back to what we were feeling last year, now to 10-2. By the way, I think we should refresh everyone's memory that me and Brynn actually picked at the start of the season that we were going to go 10-2. James, I think, said 9-3, which is,
How
that right?
dare you, James? How dare
Yeah,
you?
That's reasonable.
I went 9-3. I
Now,
went 9-3.
At 10-2, I don't, at that point, I thought, surely that would get us into the championship game. But, didn't play out that way. But 10-2, come on, that's an excellent season. And let's, and I'm just going to throw this out. With Texas Tech early on, I think it was between 8-10 minutes left in that game, hampered Dampier. We were within 4 points and had the ball, if you recall. And then for some whatever reason, the wheels fell off in the last freaking 8 minutes of the game. Okay, the Zoob game, I mean, I know they're all excited and think they're the next greatest thing on the face of the earth and they're going to win the national championship, all the crap that's been going on recently. They beat us by 3 points, and all we had to do is execute a couple things, and we beat them. That's the fact. We didn't. I get it. That's a loss. Those are our 2 losses. But the Zoobs act like they're national champions, as if they're steamrolling everybody. Anybody that's watched their games with any brains and fairness, go, yeah, okay. They're okay. They're good. Good for them. 11-1. All I'm saying is we had a good season, and just on a couple of plays, a few plays here on either of those games, and we're 11-1. So it's a great season. Now, I'm with you, though, Brynn, at the end, how it ended defensively. That's what is perplexing to me.
Well, right. So let's go through the overall season. We've mentioned it, 10-2. And yes, Gary, you said you and I predicted 10-2. And to be honest, when I predicted that, it was like, I don't know if we're going to get to that. So yes, the expectations were there, and to actually hit 10 wins is fantastic. So overall season, I want to give some grades. Let's do some grades for the offense, defense.
Let's do the overall season.
I guess the overall season, first of all.
How would you grade it?
What would your grade be, James?
I mean, it's hard because you're kind of grading on a little bit of a curve, considering how terrible last season was. I would go with B+. Not make it, for me. It can't be an A. Obviously, you lose games, you don't make it the conference championship game. But a heavy B+, A- is probably where I'd be. I feel like the team got back onto the trajectory that we're used to seeing Utah football. Mm-hmm. And the future is extremely bright. We'll see what happens in the offseason. But for this season, they showed a lot of grit coming back from the garbage that was last year, implementing all the new stuff. One of the big things for me was really taking back the Rice-Eccles advantage, what a home field advantage that truly is. We lost that last year. I mean, we didn't win a home Big 12 game last year, and that was kind of embarrassing, honestly, But to come back the way that they did, the senior leadership, to have an offense that was, it's top 15 offense in the country, a quarterback that's a top 10 quarterback, and tons and tons of statistics. I would say B+, A- is where I would put this season. I'm very, very happy. Yes, there are things that I obviously wish had gone different. unless you're 12-0 at this point, which one team in the entire country is 12-0, by the way, then you can't, then you can be happy, I guess. But other than that, not a whole lot that left me, disappointed, if I'm being honest.
Gary, what's your
It's a B
overall
plus.
grade?
B plus. I mean, I'm with James. Yeah, we didn't make it to the championship. We had our opportunities to win those games, and we didn't. So that's disappointing. So I'd give us a B plus.
I'm probably leaning more towards an A minus for the overall season. And I think what you said, James, it's mainly because of where we were last year. Like the lows of what last year was, it was so hard to continue to watch the games, to get on here as Utah football fans and talk about the season. Like it was so rough. And so to go from that to what it is now, yeah, of course, there's room for improvement. But overall, I feel like the season is an A minus for me. Okay, then let's go into offense. What would you give the offense grade? Gary, you can go first.
That's an A, unquestionably. That offense was potent, particularly, you already alluded to it, James, is all new guys. All the skill positions were brand new for Utah. We were still trying to figure out who was going to do what, who was going to actually step up and play. And so it took some games to get there. But even with that, I mean, like I said, our last 5 games offensively, we averaged probably 49 points a game, let alone the yardage. So and the fact is, when you look at it, it was, particularly in the end of the season, it was all offense that carried the team to the victories, with considering, some things. But anyway, A, that's it. A, easy.
James.
Mine's an A minus. I can't give them an A because the 2 most important and the 2 biggest games of the year, we put up 10 and 21, right? So those 2 games, the games that we lost, the offense was a part of that. I mean, especially the Tech game, we couldn't move the ball. So, and I get it. Tech they're number 4 in the country right now. So I understand it, but those 2 games, and then the only area, and now it improved as the season went on, was the receiving core, especially to start the year. It got a lot better. Ryan Davis really came out. It sucked that he got hurt. That was brutal. But other guys did step out. But I mean, if I'm grading it on a curve based off of last season, I'm giving this a triple A plus, a grade that doesn't even exist. But standalone, I'm going to go A minus just because of those 2 games. But man, it was a fun offense. It was so fun to see these guys that came in for the first time. I mean, seeing Wayshawn Parker turn that corner about halfway through the year and become the dude. And then, man, I love watching Dampier play. That guy he's electric. He is so fun. And hopefully he's back and can be 100%, because he's not playing at 100% right now. But the guy is an absolute warrior, putting the team on his back and winning games for us. So that A minus for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm teetering between the A minus and the A. Probably not an A plus, but A minus. I think back to our first game, the UCLA game, when we were moving the ball and scoring points, and it was, again, after what we went through last year, it was like, we finally have an offense, and we got so excited about it. And of course, people made fun of us and whatever, but truly, this Utah offense is something we've never had before. Even, the Cam Rising years, when there were games when we were scoring in the high 40s, this is not a typical Utah offense that we're used to seeing. And so it's been really fun to see it come together. And granted, there were times they didn't perform the way they needed to. I do think Dampier's been hurt since that Tech game. But the creativity and like you said, James, the different guys that have emerged, it has been so fun to watch. And I can't wait to see, hopefully, fingers crossed, we get a lot of them back, because then they're just going to continue to build. Okay, defensively, this conversation is going to be interesting, which it is this is a strange position to be in. I'm going to be honest. As a Utah defense, James, you can go first. I don't quite know.
You go first. Oh, I don't know. I mean, if you would ask me 2 weeks ago, after the Cincinnati game, for example, it would have been an absolute A. But these last 2 weeks, no one knows what's happened. The wheels kind of fell off when it comes to the run game. Now, to your point, Gary, that you made, we only gave up 21 points, right? The run, I'm not going to defend the run defense, but they gave up a lot of yards, 45 points or whatever it was, 48 points against K-State was crazy. But we only gave up 21 points, and then they made plays when they needed to make plays. I'll go with a B for the defense overall, and it definitely has to do with the last 2 games. The last 2 games really tainted things for me. The run D, and you're right, Brynn. It is weird to be talking about it like that. That it's not the defense that we're relying on, right? Gary,
I'm C+.
Oh, even lower.
Because, yeah, up through Cincinnati, but you finished the season. So Baylor, okay, what did Baylor score? 24, 28? We still blew them out, but they tore us up in the passing game. I mean, massive
28
yards. They have almost 600 yards, something like that. And then Kansas State, nothing spectacular as far as, no gimmicks or anything. It was just right up the middle. And then Kansas basically followed the pattern and did the same thing, though the D came. Yeah. So, look, the fact is, we watched the games, and anyone watching the games could see the offense was good, but the defense, something happened. And I think you got to be honest with us. And as far as like the CFP, the College Football Playoff poll, we've gone down, and it had to do with the eye test because we won the games. And, of course, we're in the Big 12, and, the committee has bias against the Big 12. But if Utah has their stellar defense and our stellar offense right to the end of the season, that would have been different. We would have budged. Who knows what would have happened. But, look, so we were really good. But you can't finish like that in November. And it was bad, man. So I'm going at C+. I'm not, that just can't happen.
No, I'm probably more B-, C+. And yes, of course, it has been these last couple weeks. However, I think back to the Tech game, Gary, where you said we were in it in those last 8 minutes and we needed a stop. Our offense had just scored.
Mhm.
All we needed was a stop, and the defense fell apart. The same thing happened in the Zuby game. We had come back, we were within like 3 or something like that. All we needed was a stop, and the defense fell apart. So these last 2 games was the strangest things going on, but it kind of happened all throughout the season. And this is very unusual, and no one can really pinpoint it. I don't know what's going on, and maybe there really isn't anything to pinpoint it to. But I hope it gets remedied, because the Utah defense is something we've always been able to just fall back on, count on. You knew what you were getting. And this year there's been some inconsistencies with it. So it is strange. It's odd, but
yep.
Finishing the season, I think we absolutely need to give Dampier his props. I think he's the quarterback, so the quarterback is always going to take the criticism. They get the glory when you win, but they take the heftiest amount of criticism. And I've seen so many people talk about how, Dampier's not good. Oh my gosh, Dampier sucks and all this stuff. And look at his statistics, everybody. I just want to say this. QBR, yes, we're going to mention QBR because it is the best statistic to look at. Dampier is ranked 9th nationally in QBR. So think about all the quarterbacks there are in the entire country in all of college football, and Devin Dampier is ranked number 9. And in the Big 12, guess what number he is? Number 1. He finished the season ranked number 1 in QBR in the Big 12. I didn't even see that coming. That one shocked me, to be honest. When you put him up against all the different quarterbacks that are playing in the Big 12 and everyone that gets all the love and all the attention and all the props and everything, Dampier's number 1. Did that surprise you? Or no, you've seen it coming?
Surprised me.
No, if you've been following him at all and following that metric, you would see he's been right up there the whole time for the whole season.
Yeah, but
people are criticizing for stuff, but he's been right there.
But number 1 in the conference, that had to surprise you a little bit. I mean, when we were going into the season this year, and we're talking about all the different quarterbacks that are in this league, and you've got, all of them. If you had told me at the end of the year that Dampier would be leading at the end of the season with QBR, that would have top 3. Yeah, I would have put him top 3. But number 1, that surprises me. So just real quick to go back to kind of the defense. This is kind of interest to me. We're so used to Utah's defense being so dominant that we have such a high standard for them, right? We put them so high that we expect to give up only 10 points per game, and the opposing offense have 120 yards. Like, that's kind of where we're so used to. Utah still came in 3rd in scoring defense in the Big 12. Texas Tech blew everybody out. They average only 11 points against per game, which is bonkers. It's crazy. BYU and Utah are just about the same. BYU was 17.8 and Utah is 18.7.
We were below that until the last couple of games. That's
the last 2 games. Exactly. And then I think I read nationally that nationally Utah is 9th nationally. Now I'm going to double check that, but I think that's what I read earlier today. 9th nationally in scoring defense. I'll double check that. But what I'm saying is we're so used to our defense being so dominant that we have this crazy high standard that when we give up 21 points in a game on the road the day after Thanksgiving at 10 a.m. in 32-degree weather against a Kansas team that has absolutely nothing to lose other than let's win this game at all costs to get to a bowl game for our seniors, and we give up 21 points and we're all over here freaking out and throwing our arms up saying this is a joke. So that being said,
way to bring us back down to earth.
Way to bring us back down, people. So that being said, I still think there's a lot to improve. And it's not a group though that I'm nervous about. Like last year with the offense, I was really nervous going into this season. The defense, whether it's Whittingham, whether it's Scally, whatever at the helm, we know that the Utah defense, what they're going to be. So Dampier, great season. I was surprised to see the numbers he had. But like I mentioned earlier, the guy's just an absolute stud. He's a leader. There was multiple games where he just said, we're winning this game and I'm going to do it. I mean, the last 2 games. And so those sort of things go into QBR, and I'm glad to see him having so much success. And like I said, hopefully he can stay healthy next year, because when he's healthy, he's crazy.
We have to keep in mind, and not a lot has been said about it, but I've heard things, and he has an ankle injury. I think he has a groin injury. I think his knee's been tweaked. So people are getting on him because he can't run, or Ficklin can run better than he can. Well, he's hampered a little bit, yet even with that, he's one of the top QB. He's the top QB as far as QBR goes in the Big 12, and then he's 9 nationally. So, perspective. Now, QBR is, there's a passer rating, and then there's QBR, which is someone was asking about it. It's a ESPN metric. You can go look it up, and they give a detailed explanation of what it's total quarterback rating, which means it takes in all of the metrics, meaning passing, running, sacks, touchdowns, interceptions, fumbles, success of the team when you're on the field, et cetera, et cetera. It brings all these things together and comes up with a rating. And so when you put all that together with Dampier on the field, that's what it comes to. But there's other ratings. It's like there's one is the PFSN, which is basically just a passer rating for college football. You can look that up too, PFSN. And Dampier is number 1 in their rankings for quarterbacks in the Big 12. So those are just a few things.
But sure, everyone tell him how crappy he is. No, he's a fantastic quarterback. We were so lucky to have him. And I do think that chemistry between him and Beck, and now with Ficklin, their relationship that they have going. I mean, God, what a dynamic duo. And I just
Simmons is coming out. Bray is
Simmons, yeah.
coming
Simmons
out.
And what a
is
game he
emerged.
had, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm just,
And and Parker, James, like you said,
Oh, yeah.
he has had a breakout season. And so, yeah, it's been really fun to see these guys emerge. We will, of course, have one more game in the year to play, which is a bowl game. Now, we don't know the bowl game yet. We will find out on Sunday.
Yeah.
Whenever they do the selection and all that stuff. But I mean, we've heard rumblings. I'm sure everyone has heard rumblings. It's seeming like Vegas is probably the front runner as the bowl game, but Alamo Bowl, Holiday Bowl, Sun Bowl, Pop-Tart Bowl. That's the one I want, you guys. I want the
It's
Pop-Tart
not-
Bowl because it has all the fanfare that comes with it. You get to eat the Pop-Tart at the end if you win.
That would be pretty fun. I want to know Gary's opinion on the Pop-Tart Bowl. What do you think about the Pop-Tart Bowl, Gary?
which is the Pop-Tart Bowl.
It's just that. It's the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Which is the Pop-Tart Bowl. You've seen it the last 2 years all over social. It gets tons of traction because their marketing team is fantastic.
I don't know.
I think the Big 12 plays in the Pop-Tart Bowl. It was Kansas State the first year they did it. Who played in it last year? Was it Iowa State? I can't remember.
Sure.
Somebody in the chat tell me. But
by the way, I was wrong. We're tied for 16th nationally in points against per game.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay.
With the Buckeyes leading the way at, you want to take a guess? On average, Ohio State is giving up 7.8 points per game.
That's insane.
Followed directly behind by Indiana, who's giving up 10.9. So that could be a high-scoring Big Ten championship game right there, people.
Right. That game will be interesting.
All right.
Anyways, bowl game.
Bowl games.
What do you want? I mean,
it's hard. It's a two-edged sword for me. One, I would like a good named bowl, right? Like a Holiday Bowl or Alamo Bowl, something that has a little bit to it. But on the other side, I'm not going to go to either one of those bowl games, right? Like I'm not going to fly to Texas or wherever to go to these games. Whereas the Vegas Bowl, that's a little bit more tempting, especially if it is a Big Ten team. I've heard Nebraska. I've heard a couple other teams, Iowa potentially. And if it's Whittingham's last game, it's drivable. It's a potential place for a lot of us to go. So it's double-edged, but if I were to pick, it would be a little bit more of a flashy bowl than the Vegas Bowl. And that's a little bit of a letdown after the season that we've had. It's, I don't know. That's just kind of where I sit with it. Gary, Brynn.
Well, I don't want to diminish bowls, but I'm going to diminish bowls because bowls don't mean hardly. They just don't mean what they used to mean.
Yeah.
Particularly the big ones, but then it just filters down because you have a 12-team playoff, which incorporates the big bowls. It's just not the same. And bowl games have essentially, well, in many ways, just become a chance for teams to get guys experience and to play, because some guys aren't going to play because they have aspirations of playing the NFL. It really doesn't mean anything, so they don't want to get injured, so they may not play. The shine of the bowls is not what they used to be, and I look at it that way. Is it a game? Yeah, it's exciting to have another game, but I don't look at it as anything near significance, these bowls anyway, anywhere near the significance of just the regular season in the games, because all those games meant something.
Well,
full teams, full everything. And so of those bowls, I think the Holiday Bowl has more prestige. San Diego, man. I'd love to go to San Diego. Alamo Bowl, the Sun Bowl, Now, the Vegas Bowl, we've been there too many times. I'm sick of it. Yeah, it's convenient as far as that goes, but yeah, man. For me, I just want to play, and you said it, wherever it ends up, let us just play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, give it a Big Ten team. That's cool. A team we've never played before. Let's do that. That's what I want.
Give me Nebraska, Iowa, or give me USC. Give me or Michigan. Right?
Play USC in the Holiday Bowl.
Why not? Honestly, because you're looking at the standings, you're looking at all these teams, and not all these teams are going to make it. So why not? Why not put two good 10-2 teams up against each other? Right? Utah versus Michigan in the Holiday Bowl. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Utah USC again?
Utah USC in the Vegas Bowl. Rematch.
I want to see the Cowboys again. Let's go.
I'm just saying, like, make it. I'm with you. As long as the opponent is interesting, then it's interesting to me. But a couple of years ago when we played Northwestern, I mean, they beat us, but it was just like you could just tell, like it was lethargic, and it was just like whatever.
Yeah, but see, that's for me is the Vegas Bowl. We were just there 2 years ago, and the season we had 2 years ago where we struggled through the whole year to then the season we're having now where I feel like, yes, we had a really, really good season. The fact that we'd go to the same bowl with those two seasons comparatively, it feels like such a letdown. I'm going to be totally honest. Like,
Correct.
If we go to the Vegas Bowl, which is seeming likely, that just feels like, really? We were just there 2 years ago with a crap team.
That's the one we went to when Barnes was our QA. We went, what, 8-4? Is that the one?
Yeah.
We don't want to go to the Vegas
You're
Bowl.
right, Brynn. Like, after this season and such a good season, to beat Vegas Bowl again, that is a letdown. You're right. I agree with you 100%.
It does feel like a letdown. Of course, we'll find out next week. But if you do want to save some money to get yourself to a bowl game, you got to make sure you go to Thomas Orthodontics because you can save $500 off your full orthodontic treatment just by mentioning Utah Football Fans. You deserve a winning smile, and at Thomas Orthodontics in Spanish Fork, Dr. Thomas has the playbook to give you braces, clear aligners, and a custom plan to get your teeth in perfect shape. Check out at Thomas Braces on Instagram for hilarious reels and an easy way to book your consultation. And again, mention Utah Football Fans. You can save $500 off. You could put that towards your bowl game trip or Christmas or anything you want to do. All you have to do is mention Utah Football Fans. Again, follow them at Thomas Braces on Instagram. All right. Well, it is championship weekend this upcoming weekend, and the newest CFP poll dropped today, everybody. Utah's at 15th. We dropped 2 spots. We won, and we dropped 2 spots.
Does that surprise anybody, honestly?
No.
In a rational world, it does, but not when, I mean, look at the teams that jumped us.
Right. They're positioning other teams.
SEC teams.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all it is.
No, after last week when they dropped us, it doesn't surprise me that they dropped us even more. Last week was the big teller that they were pushing Utah out totally.
Yeah.
And that they're pushing the Zoobs out too. And I think last week was the big indicator of that too.
The Zoobs have, if they do not win, they're done. They're out. There's no at-large bid for them. And they have said that with the poll. And the fact that, I mean, we harped on this same thing last week. I'm not at all surprised. The fact that when we have teams that we struggle against, quote unquote, the perception of it, we're penalized for it. When an SEC team struggles, they are not penalized for it. And it's been shown over and over and over. And so this week, was the Texas win over A&M a good win? Sure, it was. I watched that game. They looked pretty good. They've also got 3 losses. And so for them to catapult, and now all of a sudden, they're right back in it. All of a sudden, they could somehow weasel away to get Texas back in the playoff at the expense of teams like Utah and the Zoob. It's a joke. I mean, it's an absolute joke. We talked about it a million times. I'm sick of it. It's all money. It's all TV ratings. It's a television show. It's not about the best teams that played the best football for the last 12 weeks. It's not about that. It's about, okay, who can we put in that's going to get eyeballs on TVs? And teams like Texas and Miami and Notre Dame are those teams, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to push those brands over the teams that actually deserve it. And it's I can't believe that, like, I'm sitting here defending the Zoobs, but it's honestly, it's pathetic what they're doing. That they're just sitting there at 11, and the committee is just saying, well, let's see what you do this weekend, because if you don't, it's not even if you have it tight. It's not even if you lose by 3. Okay, it's you have to win, and then if not, you're out. And it's just the whole system is so freaking broken, and it's never going to get fixed. We can move to 12 to 16 to 24 teams. It doesn't matter. It's always going to be like this. They're always going to find ways to get the biggest money makers into the playoff, and it's a joke, honestly. Sorry,
Well,
that's James Rant. Apologize.
The regular season doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter.
Why on earth play the games? Why on earth have Texas play anybody if they're going to lose to somebody and then you just get bailed out by the committee at the end? And
you
I
just
get,
say, well, it's a good loss. Well,
I
it's
get
a
that
loss.
they beat A&M. However, you lost in the regular season. And I've seen somebody tweet it, and I can't remember who it was, but it's like the playoffs are not the rescuer of the regular season. If you don't take care of business in the regular season, you don't make the playoffs. I just find this and the whole tie to the championship game stuff ridiculous. And I just want to point out a couple things. Okay, so the Big 12 championship, it's Tech and BYU. They're both ranked in the top 12. I mean, BYU's 11th, Tech is 4th. Big 10 championship, Indiana, Ohio State, number 1 and 2. So that's going to be an interesting game. The SEC, it's Georgia and Alabama in the championship game of the SEC. However, Georgia's ranked 3rd, Ole Miss is ranked 6th, A&M is ranked 7th, Oklahoma is ranked 8th. So you have Alabama playing for the championship with 3 other teams ahead of them in the actual rankings. How does that make any sense? And then in the ACC,
My favorite. This is one of my
the
favorite.
ACC, you have a team playing for the ACC Conference Championship that is not even ranked in the top 25.
No, they're 7-5.
Duke is not even ranked in the top 25, and they're playing this weekend in the championship game. And you have Miami ranked 12th. They're over Virginia, and Virginia's in the championship game. What the hell is going on? None of this makes any sense. This is so ridiculous.
Well,
It's ridiculous.
And to the point, I'm looking at the SEC. If Bama gives Georgia a decent game, they're gonna say Bama, they fought, good loss, they're keeping them in the playoff. Both those teams will be in. Ohio State and Indiana, they're both in. The ACC is a joke. The ACC is an absolute joke. A 7-5 Duke team has an opportunity to make the playoff. By the way,
but the rule does. I think the rules do. I think allows them not to have either of those teams in.
They could
the championship.
We'll see what happens there. But that's why. But you're right, Brynn. Miami's down here at 12. They're not even playing in the championship game.
No.
But then for some reason, the Big 12 is this anomaly of a conference where we're not getting both of our teams in. We're not. And I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. It just drives me crazy that these other teams just are gifted and guaranteed. The SEC's got 9 teams in the freaking playoff at this point, it feels like. Notre Dame is just this gift. I don't know. It drives me crazy.
Well, here's my question. If the Zoobs somehow win, which I don't think they will, I think Texas Tech is going to kill them. However, if the Zoobs somehow beat Texas Tech, so then the Zoobs would get in because they're the Big 12 champion. Does Tech drop all the way out?
No.
I don't think
so.
So here's
the committee's put themselves in a horrible position here. Some things could play out that are make them even look dumber than this already. If the Zoobs win, you can't kick Tech out.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
So the Zoobs win it. They're going to have to put them in. And then what?
Then what?
But Notre Dame, I mean, didn't Miami beat Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Okay.
Early on, but still.
So there's a Notre Dame, they got to be wondering because, I mean, they're positioning these teams right here, depending on who wins their championships and stuff like that. What happens if Alabama wins?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're automatically in. If the Zoobs happen to win, they would be in with Tech. So then what happens to Notre Dame? Because you're going to bring in the G5 school. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think it's a joke because let's face it, it's going to be SEC heavy and Big Ten heavy. There's no reason to whine about it anymore because the beginning of the season, I know we talked about it. We saw it coming way back when they were changing stuff. Mm-hmm. And no, there were people saying, no, we want to do this, we want to do that. Even the guys within the Big 12 actually believed. Your Mark, for instance, we just want to earn it on the field. That was what he's saying. Well, didn't we earn it on the field? We have 2 teams with 1 loss and 1 team with 2 losses, and we're about to get jacked with only 1 team. So it is what it is, and it's not going to change anytime soon. So here it is. That's the way it is.
Well, people in the chat are asking if that was my rant, and no, that actually wasn't my rant because
okay, let's go. Hear it.
Right. I'll sit back.
This is my rant. And Gary, you started to allude to it. It is the fact that the Big 12 is not positioning itself to be taken seriously. And it's really pissing me off lately. When we joined the conference, I had this confidence in your Mark. He was building something. And now I feel like I've just been fed a whole bunch of crap because I don't think he's actually positioning the Big 12 in a positive way at all. Look at what's happening to us. We're just getting tossed to the side. I get the money in the SEC and the Big 10. However, I feel like as the Big 12, we're just laying down and taking it. You're not scheduling your biggest rivalry in the entire conference on rivalry weekend because they said, well, we don't want to compete with the other rivalries around the country. Compete with them. Show that we are just as big a rivalry game as all these other ones. Secondly, the Big 12 championship game. We discovered this last week. I didn't even realize this. It is at 10 a.m. Mountain Time on Saturday, 11 a.m. Central Time in Texas. 11 a.m.? That is a joke to have the Big 12 championship be that early in the morning. And once again, to me, it just shows that the Big 12 is lesser than everybody. We're just the smaller conference. Nobody needs to take seriously. Put it on primetime. Why are you not fighting to have that on primetime? Guess who's primetime? ACC. The ACC championship game is at 6 p.m. Mountain Time on Saturday night.
Duke and Virginia.
Duke and Virginia.
Duke and Virginia. The SEC game is at like 2 o'clock. Okay. And Big 10 is at prime time, so I get that. We were talking about it, though. The Pac-12 had it right. You put it on a Friday night at 6 p.m. Everybody was watching it. Think about those championship games the last few years when it was Oregon, Washington, Utah, USC, and Utah, Oregon. Everyone was watching those because we were the only championship game going on. Put the Big 12 in the same category as the big guys. If you want to be taken seriously, then act like it. There's my rant.
Hallelujah, amen. There you go.
Goal.
No, agreed. It's frustrating.
Okay, throw out who. Okay, excellent, Brynn. I agree. I think most people, I'm just reading the chat here. I think most people would agree with what you're saying, but the big money, let's face it, SEC, Big 10, they got the big money, they got the power. They're going to yield it. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Okay, who do you think is going to win these championship games? P4s anyway. Okay, let's go with ours. Our league. Texas Tech or the Zoobs? Who do you got?
Tech.
I got Tech.
I got Tech.
Well, I mean, I've seen a bunch of Tech games. I watched their first game. It could have been way worse than the 22 points that it was. I just think Tech now it has put themselves in a position. I mean, they have a first round bye that's on the line right now, and so it's not like they just don't have anything to play for. This is not a situation where they're sitting back going, "Hey, we're in either way, whatever." Like they've got an opportunity to have a first round bye in the playoffs. And so I just think, and all the things that have been going on down in Happy Valley this weekend, that you can't tell me that hasn't been a distraction. You can't tell me.
Except that
no.
Now their coach is staying, and
That's
oh my
fine.
gosh, they're celebrating, and it's
That's
so
great.
exciting. And
Saban is now in Provo, is what we're hearing, basically.
Yeah, like, are they all going to rally? And
is all that time that has been spent. So both teams played on Saturday. They both have the same amount of time. They're both going to travel to Arlington, all that stuff. All the time that the coaching staff down at BYU has spent on the conversations with their athletic director and Penn State and all this stuff, that's time taken away from focusing on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Meanwhile, Texas Tech is focused solely on this game. I think that will play a factor. I know that there's this idea of now they're going to be even more jacked and hyped because they've got their guy. Hell, maybe I'm wrong, but Texas Tech is a machine. They're freaking good. I got to give them credit. I did not see this coming in this way. I expected Texas Tech to be better than last year, but I expected them to be a lot more like Texas A&M was a couple years ago, where they just went into the portal and brought a bunch of dudes in, and then it did not work out well. That's where I expected. Credit to them. They put it together. I think Saturday by 8 a.m. when the game's over, that's how it's going to feel. I think the Texas Tech's won their first conference championship in 140 years or whatever it's been. So that's my pick.
I think even if the Zoobs are as jacked up as we think, I still think Texas Tech beats them handily, even with them being jacked. And James, of course, you saw it coming. It's all about the money.
The spread is 13.5.
Who spent the most on players, and now who's in the championship game? Oh,
no,
weird.
I get that, but it doesn't always work that way because it has to mold and mesh. You have to get the right players in. And so credit to Tech. Look, credit to Texas Tech. They did it, and I'm impressed. I didn't think they would do it. I was wrong. But the line, Gary, I was looking at it on ESPN. It's 12.5 there. I'm sure other sites, but
one I just looked at was 13.5.
That's a big line.
It's almost 2 touchdowns in a
game.
And ESPN did say 60, the whatever it is, percentage chance to win.
Yeah,
67%.
Yeah.
On ESPN. Look, Texas Tech is better than BYU. That's just a fact. And that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a bigger blowout than the first one.
I think so too.
You know why? Because Baron Morton I think he's more healthy now than he was in that game.
He couldn't move that game.
He couldn't move that game. He was a sitting duck.
Yeah.
And they left points off the board.
Yeah.
I just don't see what is the Zoobs out of their 10 plays out of their playbook is going to be different in this game.
Nothing.
I can't see it.
Well, you can roll out of bed and watch it at 10 a.m. It's so stupid.
Crazy.
Okay. Big Ten, Indiana and Ohio State. Who's going to win?
I go Ohio State. I just, where's that game at? How do they do that?
That one is at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think Ohio State, man, they're good. I think they're really good. On both sides of the ball. They're going to, I would lay it on them.
So the ESPN matchup predictor is Ohio State 49.4% chance to win and Indiana 50.6% chance. So they're like basically.
Who said that?
ESPN, the ESPN predictor thing.
Okay.
I mean, Ohio State's just been decimating everybody, so I could see that happening, but I don't know. I might be cheering for Indiana. I'm not sure how I'm gonna lean with this one. I'm gonna get all the Ohio State Buckeyes in the comments are gonna freak out.
What is it? What do you got?
Who am I picking?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll pick Indiana.
Okay, there you go.
I'm picking Ohio State, but I am 100% cheering for Indiana. There is no question about it. I think that Ohio State, both these teams are so freaking good. I've been really impressed with Indiana, but I think Ohio State wins the game in this one.
Okay.
I was wrong, by the way. Indiana's undefeated too. They're both undefeated. This will be the first loss for either one of these teams, which is crazy.
Both good teams.
Yeah.
SEC. Ooh, these two unheard of teams. We've never seen them play in a championship before.
Wow.
How exciting. Georgia, Bama.
Georgia.
Bama. I'll choose Bama. Gary, you're not going
Brynn,
for
what are you doing?
your Kalen DeBoer love? You're not going to cheer for Bama now?
No,
You cheered for them all season, and now you're going to give
look,
up on
I would
them now?
prefer Alabama, weird as that sounds. Kirby
I
Smart,
would too, actually. I would too.
Their organization, their team. I watched Bama. Who'd they play? Oh, Auburn. They didn't. It was just, of course, it is a rivalry, so we know how rivalry games go. They can be weird and different from other games. But Alabama didn't. They could have easily lost that game. They didn't really. I've seen other games. I mean, they did have a gauntlet where they did win a bunch of games against really good teams. So I got to give them props on that.
So this is a rematch, though. These two teams have played earlier this year.
But I would prefer Alabama because I do like DeBoer. But I think Georgia's going to do it in the end.
Well, interestingly, the matchup predictor actually has Alabama at 51.1% and Georgia at 48.9%. So it slightly favors Bama.
Yeah, Bama won the first round by 3. So this will be. It'll be. I mean, I'll be watching it. That's stupid, but I'll be watching it.
I don't even know. Do you care to predict Duke and Virginia?
Go Duke! Just screw the whole thing up. I'm cheering
that would
for
be
Duke.
Funny, actually.
Yeah,
I'm going Duke.
An unranked.
I think Duke
team.
wins it anyway.
This is a rematch too. Virginia beat Duke earlier this year. Everybody beat Duke, and yet somehow here they are. But I am cheering for Duke because how hilarious would this be to throw the biggest wrench into all of this? It'd be so great. Because they're either going to be forced to put Duke into the playoff or no ACC team, or better yet, they'll put Miami in. They'll put Miami in, who didn't play in the championship game, isn't the conference champion, has 2 bad losses, but they're still in over their own conference champion. It'll be great. So go Duke. I just want to see chaos.
Such a joke. All right. We're winding now. We'll play maybe a few of these factor cap just here to end the program. But before we do, I want to make sure you know to visit Crema Coffee and Soda. This is like the last Saturday of football games where you can just sit and watch football all day long. How many football games did we watch over Thanksgiving weekend?
So freaking many.
Didn't even move from the couch, and it was fantastic. And the only thing that makes it better is if you have a nice beverage in your hand. So make sure you visit Crema Coffee and Soda. You can go through the drive-thru. You can go in. You can get your coffee, your soda, your energy drink, Gary, that you love so much. And
I'll be there.
They are just started doing their hot cocoa Rice Krispies for seasonal treats. They're so delicious. Make sure you download their app. You can order right through the app and then head on in and pick up your order. While you're there, you can do a little shopping at the Katie Waltman Boutique. Holidays are coming, gentlemen. You better have your shopping done. So make sure you visit them today. Crema Coffee and Soda. Follow both of them on Instagram also, so you can see their promos, things like that. All right, let's just do a few little fact or cap here. Oh, God, this one's a big one. Fact or cap. Whittingham retires.
Fact. I've been on it this last 2 years. I thought that this would be it for him. Fact.
Yeah, I still am leaning towards fact. Although the longer it goes,
No.
But yeah, fact.
Fact.
It'll be weird. It'll be so weird.
It'll be. It's. I just feel like. I mean, I'll just quickly say because we're running out of time, but there's never really a perfect time to retire. I remember like John Elway, I think he retired after he won the Super Bowl or whatever, something like that. It was like the perfect ending.
Yeah.
I get that Witt wanted to come back this year after the 2 previous years, particularly last year and just the struggles. We had a 10-2 season and we were just a touchdown away from being in the championship game. So it's been an excellent season. Nationally recognized team again. We're back where we need to be. We're on our way. It would be a good time, I think.
It's a good time.
It's a good time.
I agree.
I mean,
I agree.
Who knows? But I think it's fact.
Yeah. Okay. Factor cap. Dampier or Ficklin leaves and transfers to another team.
Cap.
Oh.
That's
Maybe.
A cap. We're going to keep them both.
Maybe James knows some things about NIL money.
Cap, yeah.
Maybe that, Utah football fans NIL money that we're making so much of it, we're just going to donate.
So we'll get a fund set up so people can donate.
You will put out a GoFundMe, guys. I mean, that's the way you do it.
GoFundMe. Like high school.
If you want your football staff and players to stay, you just set up a GoFundMe.
What are you, Brynn? What did you say?
I don't want to even say it because I don't want to put that out there.
Cap.
I'll say cap to stick with the positivity. Factor cap. Bray stays with the team.
Fact. Bray will be back.
Fact.
I hope fact. Again.
Bray will be back.
Fact.
Positive energy. Okay. Here's one. So Lane Kiffin has left Ole Miss in total dramatic reality television style. I loved every second of it. I wish there was a camera.
Oh, he's a narcissist. That guy's an.
I wish there was a camera crew following. That would have been the best reality show. As someone who watches all of those shows, that would have been the best reality show. So
he's text to all the college girls.
Saw those. Job Lane.
I'm kidding.
Okay, so he's gone. He's now at LSU. So here's factor cap. With Kiffin having left.
And his OC.
What?
And the offensive coordinator
too.
And the offensive coordinator has left. So with those coaching staff having left, factor cap, Ole Miss will not be in the playoffs.
Because they can do it. I saw the rules today. If the committee, I can't remember the language, but the language is there that could justify them saying, yeah, well, your coach and your OC's gone. That isn't, it changes everything. So no, you're out. Someone else is in. So
right. If the all-powerful, almighty, holy committee just says that we can do whatever the hell we want, and then what are you going to do about it? Sure, I get that, but I gotta think that they're still in. They went 11-1. It would be a joke if they didn't. Just for the players' sake, they got so screwed. They got it's not their fault that their coach said F all of you, I'm out. Jumped on an airplane with the offensive coordinator. You can't punish the players because their coach is an a-hole. They went 11-1 in the SEC. They have every right to be in the playoff. And if the committee has no scruples, if they, it's just a joke if they kick them out.
Well, of course, they don't have scruples at all.
I know that, but do the right thing. You can put them at 10. You can put the first game put them against, I don't know, Notre Dame or something the first game. I don't know, but you've got to include Ole Miss. You have to. It's not the same as, I don't know. You got to include them.
Well, and what people are comparing it to is the precedent was set when they didn't put Florida State in a few years ago because their quarterback got hurt. Now that was at a time when there was only 4 teams.
That's the thing. There were 4 teams.
I think if you keep them out, it is a dangerous precedent to set for the future of that. Once again, the regular season doesn't even matter. And it all just depends on that you have the perfect scenario and the perfect coaching staff and all that. I think they will still get in the playoffs. And like you said, James, the players deserve it.
Players deserve it.
They've played the games and they've only lost one. So
Lost one time in the all holy SEC, and we all know how great they are. So, man, Lane Kiffin screwed him. Can you imagine being an Ole Miss fan right now? Oh my gosh. You just had one of the best seasons you're ever going to have. You are a playoff caliber team, real aspirations of making it deep in the playoffs with the national championship, and your coach just goes, peace, jumps on an airplane, never to be seen again in conference. Conference.
Yeah.
Oh,
and they
dude.
play each other next year.
Oh,
That'll be interesting when
I would
LSU.
have been one of the fans at the airport flipping him off. I would have been front and center.
I know.
Gary, what say you? You've been awfully quiet.
I'm not gonna interrupt. It's a cap. Ole Miss, they'll be in. They should be in. I mean, they actually got a good team. So I don't think, what you said, I don't think they should punish the players over it. I see this as a bit different from like the Florida State thing, because let's be honest, it's the, coaches, extremely important. We all know that, whatever. However, it's still the players on the field that make the plays or don't make the plays. It's the talent on the field who wins and loses. And when you lost, and anyone who watched Florida State, that that guy was dynamic. He was the guy why they were undefeated. And all of a sudden, he's out. I see why the justification, total different team. Ole Miss, it's all the same players who got them to where they are. Aren't they ranked 6 or something?
Yeah, they're ranked 6 right now.
So no, that's a cap. I don't think you punish the players because of some narcissist guy, Lane Kiffin. Now, I agree. I'd be so PO'd if I was a Ole Miss fan or the administration. But people, when you hire a guy like this, because this is not new, everywhere he's gone, he's done stuff like this. You have a track record. And so you're risking it. And sure enough, they gave him everything. If you look into his history, I mean, whatever he wanted, the school did, and then he still just screwed him over. But that's Lane Kiffin. So, you play with fire, you may have some good times, but eventually you get burned, and they got burned. But Ole Miss is in.
Ole Miss just needed to set up a GoFundMe. Why didn't they think of that? They just had to set that up.
Yeah, they should call a Zoom. See how they did it.
Yeah, you just need a GoFundMe, and then your coach stays. All right, we're going to get out of here. Of course, there's still going to be stuff to talk about. Lots of games this weekend.
Next week, for sure.
Yeah, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you're following along on social so you don't miss any of the things that we'll be talking about, because we'll still be around. We still have a game that we're going to play.
Well, yeah,
we don't know where.
And Retzlaff's going to be in the playoffs.
Oh, too good, too good.